this episode of Agri-Tech Media, I am visiting one of the world's biggest manufacturer of seeding, cultivating and planting equipment. This is Väderstad in Sweden.
And in this episode I will give you the possibility to get a look inside the Väderstad factory in Sweden, tell you about the amazing history of Väderstad, see some extremely quality tests of new machinery before launching at the market, and of course some news in the Väderstad product range for the European market in 2025. But first of all, the CEO of Väderstad, Henrik, will tell us more about the family-owned company.
Väderstad is a leading manufacturer of agriculture machinery. We focus on seeding, tillage and planting. We have about 2,200 employees at the moment, and our revenue last fiscal year was 610 million euros. We've had a really good growth trend the last few years. Now this year the market is a little bit more tough. We've seen declining and volatile grain prices. We've seen interest rates are quite high and some farmers are struggling, and stock levels are quite high at the moment. But in the longer term we see really good potential for growth. We're investing here at the site here in Väderstad quite a lot over a number of years in order to increase our capacity and make a step change in how many machines we can produce. And that will be needed because we continue to come out with new products. So some examples are the seed hook that will be available to order from fall of this year. Same goes with the Proceed and other machines, tillage machines that we have started to produce recently or will start to produce. Things are moving forward even if the market is a bit slower at the moment.
Let's go 60 years back in time to the very beginning of the Väderstad factory. It all started about 500 meters from the Today factory here at a small farm at that time 30 hectares. The farmer, Rune Stark, started to produce a rigged tine harrow to till the soil just like all the other farms around. These have always been made of wood, and for obvious reasons their durability was limited. Rune Stark was tired of making a new wooden rigged tine harrow at the start of every season and started to make one out of steel. The neighbors saw the result, and soon Rune Stark made rind tine harrows for the neighbors in steel as well. The first one was not painted at all, but to make the machine more attractive, Rune Stark painted the machine in the most famous color in Sweden agriculture industry in that time, the green color of Bolender Monktal. And when Bolender Monktal became Volvo BM and the color changes to red, Rune Stark did the same, and today the Väderstad machinery are still red. In 1976 the ring roller from Väderstad hit the market, and this was a big milestone for Väderstad. And since then the Väderstad has become Europe's largest manufacturer of ring rollers, and thousands have been shipped out across the whole world. In 1982 Väderstad presented the NZ cultivator, and in 1991 the Rapid seeder became a new era for Väderstad. In 1990 the company had around 125 employees, but only 5 years later the number was increased to 200 and ended up being around 300 during the 90s. The Väderstad Rapid was no doubt one of the main reasons for this very big growth. In 2004 the top-down cultivator was introduced, and in 2012 the Tempo was introduced. And if Rapid was the old legend of Väderstad, Tempo is the new legend. Over 12,000 Tempo have left the factory in Sweden over the last 10 years. And today the most popular machine at Väderstad is Tempo. In 2025 a new milestone is ready from Väderstad. The Proceed with technologies from Tempo and Spirit is ready to hit the market.
So for us it's important to be able to produce many different machine types in an efficient way. So the way we've set up our automation with the philosophy of one-piece flow That's important for how we can produce in an efficient way with not too much material in stock at any given moment. So we have a fully automized tube laser facility where we produce only the material in kits that we know we will need for the next week or so of production. We have a similar setup now since only a few years with sheet metal, and the whole factory is really set up around this approach. We use quite a lot of robot welding as well to keep a consistent quality and an efficient production process. So the capacity here is moving from about 6,000 units per year to about 10,000 machines per year. But that is the total technical capacity. Then it depends a lot of how you staff the factory, how much of the production is done in-house, etc. So it's dependent. How many machines we can deliver is dependent, of course, on other factors as well. But the technical capacity increases by quite a lot when we are through this entire program.
We have a lot of different families. When I say families, I mean machine families, and tremendous of difference of variation on these ones. And so if we should not have this kind of optimization, we need to have huge storage with a lot of parts in them. And a lot of parts will go to the scrap dealer because we make a lot of changes and so on. So we want actually to do most of the part as much as possible just the day before we should have it. The painting line we have set up is highly automated, in and out and so on, and it also getting an even higher quality because we clean some area where the blaster can reach in with lasers, and so that will be another level of it. So we are working in a new concept that we're getting much further and higher quality and less people.
Is it difficult to hire the right people here at Väderstad in this place of Sweden? Or?
That has more or less since my father started been lack of welders and engineers. But when we go to the high automatizations, we want to have younger people which have never worked with anything like this, because if they have work with less optimization, we have to deprogram them first, so it's better that they have no experience at all.
What is the benefit for the customers to have this kind of optimization in the factory?
The benefit is that we got higher quality, we can answer faster on an order.
And right now Väderstad is about to expand the factory by 12,000 square meters, so the total cover of the factory is 10 hectares. Väderstad is well known for the durable products, and when you see the quality test of new machinery before launching at the market, you will see why.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, here we're testing machines. We're doing accelerated fatigue test of machine. We're testing mainly frames. We can test tools like discs or tines. We can test the joints. And the wear down of the machine here goes 50 to 100 times faster than on a normal farm. And if we would like to give a machine a life cycle of say 50,000 hectares, no way we can run 50,000 hectares with a machine before we start selling it. And then when we start selling, maybe already the first year it goes to 10, 15 markets, something. And it's not good if we have problems. Nowadays, fatigue in frames and such things are very rare. It happened much more before that we had to go and weld the machine together, so farmers don't like that. They want the machine to be ready when they come to the farm. And this is one way of several means we have to do that in a good way and a relatively fast way.
How many years have you been doing this kind of test?
I think we've done that around 15 years. We were not acquired before, and that changed ownership, and then we moved to this place. This is about 25 kilometers from Väderstad. It's not too bad. And we run 8-hour shift, and we change drivers midday.
And why is this important for Väderstad to make this kind of tests?
It's important for us to understand what life cycle we can expect to a machine. Same thing or similar things happen here in about the same order as in the field. It just goes so much faster.
But what about this new computer technologies? Can you make some animation who can?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, we do that. We do fatigue tests, we do stress tests, we do tests in jigs in the factory for frames, for ball bearings, for ceilings, and we have a number of laboratories doing that. And everything is aiming to get the farmer a trouble-free machine that lasts for a very, very long time. And we see that in second-hand value of Väderstad machine, which is astonishingly high. We see machines here in Sweden that have been used in 30 years, and they sell them maybe certified for 4 times the value in crowns the farmer paid 30, 35 years ago. That's good. We like that.
And now it's time to see some new products from Väderstad. First of all, we have the Pro Seed. The Pro Seed we have seen in the last 2 years, last time at Agritechnica 2023, and the Pro Seed is ready for the market next year, 2025. But we also have this new machine. This is the new Seed Hawk. The Seed Hawk concept, original from Canada, is now ready for the European market. And this is the first Seed Hawk ever in the field. This is actually the same Seed Hawk that were at Agritechnica 2023. And lucky for us, we have Philip all the way from Seed Hawk in Canada to tell us about the details in the brand new machine. Here we have one of the big news from Väderstad, the European Seed Hawk. And you're from Seed Hawk in Canada?
I am.
Yes.
Yep.
So you know this machine very well?
I do. This machine, although it's new for Europe and new for being built out of Väderstad, Sweden, the machine itself is not new at all in terms of the technology in the fertilizer tine and the seed tine and then the packer behind it. This is a technology that was developed in Canada over 30 years ago, has been very, very popular, especially in the last 5 to 6 years. We've really gained a lot of market share in the Canadian market. And really what this opener has been proven to do is to place your fertilizer and your seed very precisely across every single opener, across the variety of field conditions in a true no-till situation. So it is a tried and true machine, even though it's a new concept for Väderstad, Sweden.
And if we look at the Seed Hawk, can you tell us about the story? Väderstad bought this company 10 years ago?
That's correct, yeah. I believe the story is originally the family came over to North America looking for a company that they could potentially do some business, get into the North American market. And the Seed Hawk company, prior to it being bought by Väderstad, was very similar to the story behind Väderstad, Sweden. It was started by a local farmer that had a need for a specific product to do a specific job in his area, exactly the same as how it started with Väderstad, Sweden. And they've been part owner since 2006, I believe, and full ownership of the company since 2013. And we changed our branding and our colors to Väderstad Red in 2018. So Väderstad is very well known in Western Canada. We're probably doing about a third of all the machines sold into Western Canada is the Väderstad Seed Hawk. It's been very successful the last couple of years. It's a product that's in demand by the customers, and really at the end of the day, what this will do here in Europe is exactly the same as what it does in North America, and it is that emergence. What you'll notice behind this machine is you will have all of your seeds emerging very quickly and in the same time frame. And that really sets the crop up for a great season when all of the seeds are placed at the same depth. They have quick, easy access to the fertilizer because it's side banded, and that allows for the stages of the crop to be very consistent throughout the growing year.
And that's the whole secret with Seed Hawk. This is the tine.
It is 100% the tine is what there's lots of features around it, lots of nice benefits, but really it is the tine that farmers are buying for that precision placement of the seed and the side banding of the fertilizer so that it is very quickly accessible to those early seeds. Well, you'll notice that the tine itself is very narrow. It is it's a very narrow fertilizer knife at the front, so it is going to open up a furrow or a seed trench. The fertilizer knife is always in front. It's going to place the fertilizer approximately 19 millimeters below the seed and 38 millimeters off to the side of the seed. Then we again have a very, very narrow seed knife that's coming in behind the fertilizer knife, and they are putting the seed on its own separate firm seed shelf. If you dig behind this machine, you'll notice that there's two distinct furrows and placements, and there's that separation between the fertilizer and the seed for safety, but that seed is placed very accurately on a nice firm seed shelf, and that again allows for the packer to come behind, reconsolidate the soil, and it just allows for that really, really good seed to soil contact and that emergence that everyone expects from this machine.
And this Seed Hawk is for the European market. What is different on this one comparing to the one in Canada?
Yeah, so some of the most obvious differences are that this is a smaller machine, to be honest with you. We primarily can sell up to, what would that be? 84 feet, so I forget how many meters that is, but we have obviously very large machines. But some of the key differences on this one that Sweden has done is we don't have this front disc holder in North America. That has been added onto this machine specifically for the European market. And that disc holder, because you have higher residue trash levels in Europe than we do in Western Canada, that disc holder is going to cut through that trash. It also starts to open up a furrow so that your seed knife won't throw the dirt as far. So that is a really nice feature that's been adapted here in Väderstad, Sweden, and I think that's going to be a good feature for you. Some of the other things that you have on here, you have the Väderstad seed eye. So tried and true, the Väderstad seed eye, we don't have that in North America currently. So that'll be a really good feature for the European machines. And then the bigger difference is on the front here being an integrated tank on the same frame. This has 3 separate compartments, 2,200 liters, 2,000 liters, and 2,600 liters of capacity. Any one of those tanks can feed down your fertilizer knife or feed down your seed knife, so allows great flexibility for the farmer, for the crops and the products that he wants to put down and where he wants to place that.
Yeah, and this machine will be in 3 different versions.
That's correct. This will be in 3 different sizes. What you see here is the Seed Hawk 6 meter. You will have an 8 meter and a 9 meter as well. The big difference between the 6 meter and the 8 and the 9, the 6 meter will only have 2 sections for overlap control. The 8 meter and the 9 meter will have 3 sections for overlap control. And one thing that again, you'll notice the frame is always solid in the field. The frame doesn't move up and down, but the shanks or the tines, they are moving up and down on their own as you go through the field.
50 years ago. Today we have double the power in the front of the top down. So the machine have from time to time makes more heavy frames and so on.
We have here now our control station, I would say, or our monitoring about the top down.
Yeah.
We can see on the top line here our settings, our depth settings we want to. That's here the 9 centimeters. And the actually depth we have at the moment. So we are at the headland at the moment, so the machine is fully lifted. And minus means minus off the ground. So the machine is lifted at the moment. We will go now into the field, and then we see the actual changes on the iPad. Tough soil here, but now you see when it gets green we reach the final position, field position for it. And we can see also here top down is in the ground working, and we have here some buttons, some quick buttons. We can change here settings if we come to like deeper spots on the field or lower spots on the field. You can do some settings if you want, and even for in the field or for the headland you can set this depth like you want.
Yeah.
Here we see our speed, and here we see the hectares we done already.
Okay. And you can also do this with a precision map if you have that in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We also can use it for precision maps. Then we would show here in our system like all the different colors of a precision depth setting map, and then the machine would adjust himself.
Yeah.
Here we have the worked area. So in our statistics, worked area and also the field time, so the time the machine was on the ground. And here we see how many hectare each section on the machine did, because you also can lift the front tools or lift the tines all the way. So you see, like, that's interesting for like a contractor. They only use the tines and lift up the disc. They can see what they did.
Yeah.
And here we have menu, and here we also have the diagnostic menu. But the main operating screen is this one.
So here on the front page, in our main page, you can see if you lift the disc in the front, it's actually also going to lift at the iPad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now it's lifted
And lifted
in the back.
So we sell in just over 40 countries, and most of our sales is concentrated around Europe and also in North America. Canada is actually the single largest country for us in terms of sales, and the largest part of that is of course the Seadog products that are produced in Canada, in Saskatchewan. Then we also have export business both to South America, Africa, and also to Australia and New Zealand. And we see good growth potential in a specific market. To mention a specific market, we do a lot of work in the US for the moment. And looking further ahead a few years, we also see good potential in South America. But we've started out quite small in a few markets there to export machines. And we're currently investigating a bit more opportunities in Brazil. So we think that's exciting.
And if we look at the future for a manufacturer like Väderstad, what would be the biggest challenge in the future? Will there be some carbon index for machinery in the future, you think? Like right now they're talking about the carbon index on cows and pigs and...
So I mean, for us it's important to be a sustainable business that provides solutions for sustainable agriculture. And one thing that's really important for sustainable agriculture is precision that you can use just the right amount of seed and just the right amount of fertilizer. So there we think the ProSeed is a very interesting concept for how you can push that precision even further when we talk about grain crops. So that's one way in how we approach this. Then we think that traceability of what a farmer has done in the field will be important, and how the farmer can gather data from the machine in a simple way, and how that integrates into his farm management system. That will also be very important. So within the area of smart farming and digital solutions, things will certainly move forward from different perspectives, both regarding optimization, rationalization, but also when it comes to sustainability reporting.